Ramon. E pô que a ruína. E no coromo dele. Não é que tem que estar sempre lá. É que tem que cantar. E eu assim. E eu vou lá. E ya fica o dama. Ele não dá guerra não tem. Não. Eu que ele ali como coro. Por aí que a pessoa dá. Não, ele que está aqui. Ah, não. Yaron Patrice, Ozen Diabaya, Nakore, Mobile or by Tika, Balamogel Patala, Imotu, Totobi, the Matoro Grace, or Namal Army, Alan to visit, you real trouble, you meet, love, my dad said, Mopatis, La Topomini. But I read out of the rural of the little Kabuli, a willing, it got bad. Remember, the same as very good. The trouble like I'm going to or it's a return out. You want to move from a middle income to high income. Look, for some, yeah, like a man. Well done. Calibaba village in Potala, Diaba, Licamuso, a full air. Moi, je peux regarder. Où toi? Où est-ce que tu es? Ya, tu quieres ser un poco más. Yo no me voy a usar tan grande. Admira mai.
Madam Bakaisu, tu queres que eu te não haja uma namorada, MASISI. Dia piche a hawa tautu na me tau pa hore di tapo. Abera o ya praman kutisa makanya ka beile. Vidua Lucas Stein. E bagol di bamba ja tu ha ba bi poya ba ta ko kwa la ko ma ko kai. E be ba ko za. Ya ko te re ya ba ya be lo sa ba ko si. Ali Mugarra, muy pendiente. Ahora es. Soy diciendo, ¿cómo está la mamista?
Ya lo que tanto na que al ministro lo que tanto baja. Mau ko ta awiwe ki tautuna ta bore ya sebak hala khai go no go le urisa ba ba le jing no go le urisa ba ba di leng no go no ba rutwetsa go tseledisa ha ba e leng teng ka moso le bone ba tswe ba ga ka ba le ba bangwe re ba ruile mabapi le bone khai go no go re ka tswa fa le tsu bone jana mme tota hala ke po de tshwantse mo re di dise mmoko di tediana mme le kgaolo e peo ya tsone e le go tsweledisa yone thulaganyo ya go nonosa leruo la rona ka dipalo ga mmogo le boleng jwa tsone ke a leboga a re nelwe ke pula
Eu estava dizendo. Eu estava botava moral. E tambor. Bateria. Ah. E como ana. Untuk nya fruta hela mani. Bok. Prat da dor dor bola ubi. Wa moral tos nele.
Adesso invece di mettersi, il ritorno da un tunnel Matunaro, the hospital in the you know, we can come sorry. Says the Raham, you buy to Hasi the Rahamo all over the Honalamo, Nalona, all these are developed in 2036. We remember never saw about 2036. Very little, really hard, really hard, you would be. Maybe you would be there. Is that how to go around? Yagalwa, how would you go down? Tuna, Neva, Adina Lugona, Babusa, the Roman Bacano Band, Batimo Tuana, before thinking Kizil would be big. Kabukusha na kuweza mai. Kile tatabu anabaye kwa baadhi yaka ubiwa. Basi ni kwa ile message. Sasa kwa timu ya Lobu. Nisi nyara ka hore baadhi kita utuna. Ile kama ke na hore leo na kana zwa. Lazima ya kwa da baba. Kwa kumwe na ile ya tu. Kile hukunzi ba ka chumura ka kuwa. Kile hakola yana ka kile la ka hore. Kialo na kilo na ba hore. Kimala. Kirimi kole mukasa hore totara sera mucho la kai le kama fukwa kalu ki kire la kai sa hawo kan mai na ka wa butu ajizo wala mamba Lucas Koti se ki su kwa ya sa hore ya kan de ki su kwa hore kana ele on de no bua ne ta ki mampu agar mai su bila mampu wati mera tularo ya kale monari ana obamo mampu ka go mampu ya ka kwa ya no reko ti o mampu digre autora to o resa uzi ya go mampu ka kwa katika mjione ka sibu ya no mote mo kona kibuka ni teno ngore kiwa kaina tudoa utaboi sawa wapo kula kwa kwa nemo kana utabo kwa usuka kwa yako ile kama kontinya aya wala hayo wala ile ngore amba bati mtu wa hapo mala ile ngore kwa na ngore ukapwa wala kwa ngore na kwa yako ile kama miaka kiri reporto nuena o mampuri ka kwanu yokna almaga o da vera hawo mo ti mo sa ki mo ni sa ki na sa me ya ka ki di wa ki nuena hawo mampuri wa ko mo ti mo to ko kiri na hawo mo la mo ba ba ram mati luena la kaera bomra ka na panita luena mampuri ta utuna oba mampuri usipa ho le hanzo ole mona ko da mote mo ko na ni buka ya ka di bo ka ne uta uta na na kise masa na ka masa mote o o saleta o atau se mo ori Ramahan Mahale, Luena, Yakubuzi, Autura, Mampika, water, I think you go to one Koboxi, Mampuri Koboxi. You know what I get, Your Excellency, and then for another Bukana,
nya arno pule mo wa bone la abuan ga o ya so mo wa na abuan ga o da do
Dankie meneer de voorzitter.
Ja, we gaan met z'n allen
Ja, mijn naam is Lucas Kutsi.
Die naam is Lucas Kutsi.
Ik is 2013 hier YDF met 14 ijvers en een persoon gevangen.
Kan 2013 niet gaan. Newa, je moet gaan dat ze gaan naar de YDF. Jullie zijn 10 le Paul.
Ik die 14 bezig direct voor mijn vrouw en kinderen aan huis gebouwd. Ik heb hem kracht ingezet. En mijn kinderen op school kon houden en mijn familie. En ik kon daar nog steeds vandaag mee doen.
Maar je gewoon ze 14 niet te waar. Ik ben kan je prosecuteren 13. Ze 14 zeggen dat je dat als ze YDF. Ben ik af van horen. Que 47 maanden. Que wat zeggen die kolen. Que toch maar baba papiling. Kan een lisika papiling.
Ik wil vandaag voor de president zeggen, baie dankie dat u ons nog geonthoudt.
Wat daar is, moest zo'n keer dat we na keer mogen Amerika, we hebben gehad tata voor hakologeetje.
En dat wil ik voor de boeren zeggen en mijn word of encouragement voor hulle is. Het is baie zwaar om te doen, maar kom ons hoeveel dagen we is die aan enigste hoop wat ons hier ons kan morgen naar Lugar is nog
Wat daar is, maar roei, maar roepen, te halen, maar wat tata voor roa. Meek op pa, hela voor lene pelotele. Let's try to find more. If come on, sort of animal pizza and Yaman Silo, remedy to the Popola Cosa Gay, or a letter of another to them at Solaro.
Ik wil weer voor de president het doen. Mijn hart vloeit oor van die lidstaat vanmorgen. Baie dank.
Ik heb een keer dat we toen hela gaan we lekker pekeren. We gaan mee Pokuma, Kabi Tumelo, lekker moe zo mong Arona, Ralebo.
Dank je. Os Ani hoge na to Muam
Thank you very much and very good morning. In the interest of time, I would like to thank all of the champions here give them a word of encouragement. But before I will head, I would like to come to Mampudi Wago now and His Excellency, to thank you for this day that was made possible here and the joy that you bring in these people's hearts, Your Excellency. I remember when we parted in Okotsa last year, you promised to me that the next time I thank you for that promise that you fulfilled today. Just a word of encouragement to the farmers, the beneficiaries here this morning. Although we are in different raising areas, gentlemen, I would urge you to take very good care of these bulls. It is not only Lonaloka benefit, but the nation at large in our vicinity. Nigel Mohlo for the Children, I believe in 75 Jakarta. Para itu juga kalau agak kapon, so with these words, let me once more again wholeheartedly thank you, Your Excellency, for this very good evening. May God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Jangan cuma berasa kesatu di mana. Mengambil tahu tu na, le macam nak macam sebab tu boleh kalau dengan lagi bagi sih, homo somon. Tahu tu na, tak kita nak pergi boleh buka lah, kau boleh kemono Kenya hau. So bolo, oceleta se apa, oro feta barui, hasil apa, sana lo cari kau pan. Memang ane hampir lo hati le mulu, kau lo yang kalah lagi. Ultile tata kata tuo. Kira-kira tahu tu na, kurere kopi pengi matar. Kalau hampir itu mel, wena wali lah, hampir selelo, wah itu mel. Kalau kau tak kau itu mel, tu terkeli. Akhirnya keli lah, jangan isu kehalang kore. Kgolo ha Tautona re ke selo se se sosaluba. Ke tsa gore ya ka o tla o tsamaya mo lefaufong jaana mo ngabe ke itse gore o rata lehatshe o ne o sa tsamaye ko godimo thata o tla o bona gore lehatshe le le ka kwana kgaolo ya kgalaga ya mmele jang ke molelo ya mmele jang ke luba re kopa gore jaaka ka bo boela go morago jaana raetso re ne re ntse re tsenya leitlho thata go bona gore ditsela tse dintsi tse re ka thusang barui ka tsone ke nngwe ya selelo thata ke letlhoko la metsi tlhoko la lehatshe dilo tse tsotlhe tse e nna dikgwetlho mo baruing ba ba ka kwano mo ngame ke one kope ke ne ke re ke tsena pe ba beeditse gore ke ba e beetse pele mo diatleng tse di siameng tsa gore ke neela monna yo akanyang monna yo o na leng keletso le thato ya leruo wa tlang go bona batswana ba itshepetse ka bobone mme ke re ba re ba beetseng ke re president is viable. Al die deze gezien dat het een is er mijn plan. Mijn plaats is inspiratie dan. En dan moet je mijn plaats te gaan, want daar is eerst van mijn inspiratie dan. Als we daar gaan, je krijgt niet meer. Nee, ik grap maar niet. Maar anyway, dat is voor de president gegeven. Maar ze heel hard. Alsjeblieft, kijk achter jullie goed. Baie dankie.
Ja, heel erg.
Ke a leboga Tautona, ke a leboga ra rona re ka tsaya maano a rona re a leboga Motswana a beelwa a re go sego letsogo le le ya bang Modimo a tswelele ka go segogatsa ra rona re tswaletse thulaganyo ya rona ya kabo ya dimpho re tsena mo the next program ya tsatsi la gompieno ya our auction sale mo nakong ya gompieno I would have called forth our
the ocean ugai. We are not going to roll out in there and I will see the higher. Aratapo what then I would hang I go by so we have no more plus in Yabu. You know, whenever we the safety royapo Josolosa local roadways at 2 ya di Rutani Moholo Jang. Plus ye, Kaketa Pileaha, Raisu Tautona, Megompieno Rehano, Hota Honehonsa, Lehoneho Nela Barui, Sailon Hore, Gibitwa, Timuye, Irituye, Jangha, or Baruiba Tekele, Bakone Hore Bayaho, at 2 ya Bonella Hatsika, Kabupa, this one is a ring Hagasonemo, Musomwa, Wahumpieno. Ke dumela gore barui botela tsela Botswana ka bophara ba utlwaletse ka tiro e ebile ba ba gorogileng hano le ba ba seong hano ba ipaakanyeditse gore ba nne le seabe se e leng gore tota hela kgangkgolo ke yone thotloetso ya leruo mo kgaolong ya kgalagadi re latise mo lehatsheng la Botswana gone ka thotheletso ya gore re godise dipalo tsa rona le boleng jwa lone re tere kgone go ithalla mebaraka e Tautona tshelang a bua ka yone e puso ya rona e tshelang e bua ka yone tota ke yone mahoko ga se nna monga tiro re lahano le Tautona se rona beng ba tiro re tsile go nna ba tsaya karolo ba bogedi ya ka mongwe le mongwe ga re na le sebaka sa gore re ka tsenya lebogo mo pateng le rona ra kgathegela sengwe re taba re tshwana le mongwe hela yo leng hano ya re batho betso lo phuthulogela lo skala re nyae re itlogela ra iso Tautona le gore ke phadisanyo e go ya teng mongwe le mongwe a reke go ya ka ha a eletsang ka teng so the auction ke nako ya gago go rolele tiro ke wena re mo mabogong a gago ga ra taga e re le mo mabogong a ga ministera yaanong re mo mabogong a gago gore ko yena o tsamaise go ya ka ga thulaganyo lo e beileng ka teng le ditsamaiso tsotlhe ga re na epe re ta reng ga lo a reng re mo mabogong a gago phuthologa e o laole go laolesega ke a leboga pula.
Honorable Minister, mo nakong ya gompieno ke tabo ke kopile botsadi go ema ka dinao jalo jaaka re tabo re biletsa ka ga saralweng kahano motlotlegi tautona raetsho Dr. MOKGWEETSI Eric Kiabetswe Masisi go ta go re neela his address. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Kita bo ke biditse auctioneer gore a gatele ka pamate gore ha melao le melawana ya theko le thekiso.
Dumelang botsadi go setse go dumedisitswe a kena go senya nako ke re hela ke re mongame motlotlegile le kokona gago re tsena mo ganyeng ya thekiso ka palabalo mme ke ne ke re pele ga ke simolla gongwe re hete ka dintlha tsa botlhokwa tse e leng gore ke tsone tse di tla re thusang go tsamaisa thekiso ka palabalo ya rona. Ikwadiso beso e tsweletse mme re tla nama re buletse re ntse re simolotse ka kwano ba gongwe tsela ene ba timeletse le bone re ba hetsono re ska ra ba tima tsono ya go reka mme jaanong se se teng ke gone gore
Lobu farm, which is we're about to witness the auction of 400. It's 400 beasts. It is 400 animals, heifers that are going to be auctioned this morning. We just saw the remarks of His Excellency President Dr. MOKGWEETSI Masisi, and the giveaway of the bull donation continues as a great feature on this national event. So
we really need to work on our livestock. Our numbers have gone down. We don't have cattle. We need to have cattle because that's our backup plan, economically speaking. Not necessarily to EU market, but generally within the African Continental Free Trade Area. Everyone in Africa thinks or believes we've got beef. So we need to command the numbers. Absolutely.
It's actually quite impressive that that alongside this, what's happening in Gaborone is that that summit for our envoys in other countries, because I think it's worth remarking what a success story the Lobu farm is. In terms of national herd of small stock scale at small stock farming and so on and so forth. It's a story to tell. It's a story to tell.
And I think the EU there played a very vital role in helping us set up this farm. Yes, it got neglected for a while, for a number of years. But when President Masisi came into power, he made it his mission through, obviously, the vice president to make sure that, actually, at the time, he was the one who was vice president and was the chairperson of the Rural Development Council. So he made it his mission to make this thing become a success. And we all look forward. So now it's going to a point where when you have livestock, your small stock in the farm, you look and say, hey, Hagena Damara, Hakena Dopa. So so now you need the meat master, you need the Dopa. That's why you can't buy lamb easily. Most of the lamb that we consume, unfortunately, is imported. But Lobu is there to make sure we stop importing lamb.
And beyond importing, we also want to export.
We've got a market in the Eastern world, especially within the Middle East. So we've got an opportunity that this is a sign that we can buy. I think inspiration should be Yes, maybe you might not be able to afford the damara now. If you can within the area, start Mafisa. Mafisa has always worked.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, it would be interesting to find out from those that are there in the person what an experience it is. But 400 very good breeds, good quality breeds.
Guaranteed to reproduce.
Absolutely.
Right. And I think also what's important to know is that during this day, expectations would be the launch of the Chama Chama Fund, which everyone is looking forward to.
Right.
And everyone is already, of course, the guidelines are out there circulating. People have read them and they know. And I think people should now be getting ready and geared to use the CEDA online system to start applying for the fund.
And as we did have the conversation, I know throughout the day, Botswana Connects will have the conversation, and throughout the day we'll keep having the conversation, just to bring you also into the conversation around Chama Chama. What sentiments are flying about, what action needs to be taken, and what value we are looking at bringing overall.
And Chama Chama is not the money, Chama Chama is the spirit of moving yourself. Wetsu, until we meet again, this is the end of the Friday edition of the Day Break. Have a good weekend.
And enjoy your weekend.
Hello and welcome to the show, Our Amazing World, where we visit wonders of the world and learn interesting facts about them. Kilimanjaro, a well-known mountain in southern Africa with 3 volcanic cones, is the highest single freestanding mountain in the universe with a height of 5,895 meters above sea level. Lying near Kenya, but in northeastern Tanzania, this site attracts over 30,000 trekkers every year. This mountain is made of hardened lava, ash, pumice, and tephra, which dried up from volcanic eruptions. The Kibo volcanic cone is the youngest but highest of the 3. A lot of hikers have attempted to climb this one every year, as it can be climbed without any mountaineering equipment. It is linked to MOKGWEETSI by an 11-kilometer saddle, which is the second highest by 5,149 meters. Shira is the lowest at 3,962 meters. In 1973, the mountain and forests around Kilimanjaro were brought under protection, and Mount Kilimanjaro National Park was created. It was then declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1987. 7 different routes are used to access the mountain. 5 of these routes are in the southern circuit and pass through the Stella Point to the summit. Approaching from the northeast, the Rungai and northern circuit, the Marangu route, is the oldest and only route with hut accommodation, whereas the others are open for camping. Elephants, buffaloes, eland, blue monkeys, black and white colobuses, and bushbucks can be seen in the park. Mild Tanzanian coffee, sugar, wheat, and barley are cultivated in this region. At the southern part of the mountain, there is the town of Moshi, the chief trading center of the region. It is home to many tribes, including the Chaga, the Kane, the Pare, and Mbungu. Caution has to be taken when visiting the mountain, as 3 to 7 deaths are recorded every year. These deaths are said to be related to heart conditions and altitude-related problems. Despite that, 30,000 trekkers attempt to climb Kilimanjaro every year. Mount Kilimanjaro usually receives rainfall in April, May, and November. In December, the summit is more likely to receive snow. Perhaps the most interesting thing to have ever taken place on Kilimanjaro in September 2014 was when 30 cricket players and officials spent 8 days trekking to the summit of Kilimanjaro in a bid to play the world's highest cricket match. Who knows what other records the mountain might help break? Until we meet again with more amazing world wonders, goodbye.
What people eat is often influenced by what they have access to. What they have access to is governed by various factors. These may include location, socio-economic status, time, and skill.
Nake Christina Mukube Mukasani. Kidirla mo maketi wakasani. Nya hao jasinti. Ono kona hujakana ko. Mi hao jasinto twanso jadi jo tsenya di kota. Sedi tsenya di kota raso ne ma bupijwa mabele manoko wapa sitampa uja kana kwa boitikana simo jadi jo tselo hore hadi ho tsenye bokoa
ke bidwa sana mokobi go tswa mo bubono morastimela go ya ka kitswa me a go te motho wa ba ja sente go twa a ja dijo tse di na le dikota mo mmele ya ka morogo nama o sa je mahura a mantsintsi o sa je letswai le lentsintsi nda go lo pheke jam paleche mabele le morogo le nama ke tsone dijo tse di ja thata.
There is definitely a sort of symbiotic relationship between cooked food, street vendors, and the working class. They rely on the vendors for their day-to-day meals and nutritional intake, and in turn, create business for said vendors.
Good morning. My name is Martha Moseki. I work as a dietitian Mo Nyangabe Hospital. Well, to start, the dietary habits of Botswana, they vary a lot. Like a lot of Botswana use a lot of fats. In their diets. Fat from meat, fat from, like fried foods, like your fried chips, your magwinya. This is a typical diet here in Botswana. So that means it leads to high fat intake. We also tend to eat a lot of large portions of food, mostly carbohydrates, like your paleche, mabele, bostamba. Got a plate la Botswana, there will be the carbohydrates, when you compare to your vegetables, your meat, carbohydrates, they make up the larger part of the plate. Our traditional foods like our beans, our legumes, things like wodiklo, your cowpeas, lentils, all those that would give you your protein. Some of our foods are recommended for management of diabetes and hypertension, mostly because they are natural foods. They are not highly processed like the other foods. So they would have less fat, they have less sugar.
Focusing on this relationship by encouraging healthy habits on both sides could be the difference in the quality of life of many Batswana, especially as pertaining to NCDs.
Hello, good morning and welcome to BTV News. I am Jay Muthibi and this, of course, is Botswana Connects, the Friday edition. A special thanks to On Air as well as Skylaw from the Daybreak, and I do expect insightful conversations as well as news every hour. And speaking of news, let's start with the news in brief. Good morning. Officially opens the 4th edition of Lobu Small Stock Farm Auction Sale. Over 400 high pedigree livestock comprising of sheep, goats and cattle will be up for sale. The farm manager at Lobu says all animals lined up for the auction have passed the fertility test level or scoring above 50%. Tests on mobility of the sperm were carried out to ascertain breeding capability. The Vice President, Mr. Slamba Tsogwane, is expected to launch the Chema Chema Fund in Maung this morning. The scheme, solely dedicated to providing financial assistance to small businesses, aims to empower the informal sector across the country. The program has been allocated 500 million pula to boost the informal sector. It will be administered by the Ministry of Entrepreneurship and implemented by the Citizen Entrepreneurial Development Agency, or CEDA. Government has taken an immediate decision to set up a Motlamedi Disaster Emergency Fund to respond to any national tragedy that may happen. President Dr. MOKGWEETSI said this during the National Memorial Service, which was held in Gaborone in remembrance of road accident victims. The World Organization for Animals' health efforts in the promotion of concepts such as zoning and compartmentalization, as well as containment zones, does not only contribute to the promotion of health of animals, but also unlocks the economic value of livestock and promotes sustainable production. This was said by the Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Fidelis Malao, at the 100th Centenary Conference yesterday in Gaborone. Moremi and Senapole residents have welcomed government's decision to connect electricity in all eligible households for free. They expressed gratitude during the consultative Kota meetings where various socio-economic issues, drought and government relief programs were discussed. The meetings were convened by Larala Maunatlala, Member of Parliament, also the Assistant Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Mr. Kabelo Mudikanele. And in sports, senior women national team head coach Alex Malete says he is convinced that his charges will give a brilliant performance when they meet Lesotho in an international friendly slated for the Royal Area Stadium this weekend, despite minor injuries to some of his players. And that was the news and brief for the 10 o'clock hour. Do stay tuned to BTV News as we'll continue to explore this auction that is happening out at Lobu Small Stock Farm. Good morning.
One of the chief responsibilities of an envoy is to perennially seek out opportunities and avenues to serve the interests of this economy in Botswana, whether it be through trade or investment. It could be in services, in systems, in products. So the question to ask always is, what opportunities are there for Botswana institutions, Botswana critical human capital to either learn from, participate with, invest in, or leverage through? What opportunity exists for Botswana to participate in the value chain of all that? And clearly associated with those considerations would be, in the event that we don't have the capacity, what opportunity exists for us to have our human capital development for such? These we must look at. In NDP 12, we're going to expand our missions. In NDP 12, we're going to enhance the capability of every existing mission. And so with this expanded mandate, expanded expectations, very high expectations we have of you, you've got to justify your existence through the sheer efficiency you churn out, consistent with what the new Botswana value proposition is, of a deep thirst for a knowledge economy. You've got to quench it. Part of your mission is to look out for opportunities for Botswana to immigrate and settle successfully in the economies from which you serve. Because immigrants have served their countries of origin very well. History shows us that. Why do you imagine you cannot dislocate America's interest from the ongoing Israeli interest in the Middle East? It's because of immigration. Where do we have Botswana immigrants in sufficient capacity and critical mass to influence our foreign policy?
Africa is calling, and Botswana is ready. Come to Botswana and unwind. Come to Botswana and explore the beauty of our country. When the dust settles, we will be waiting to receive you. Come explore, experience, and enjoy. Botswana, our pride, your destination.
Your efforts and commitment to enhance Botswana's engagement with institutions and authorities in your duty stations remains the pillar on which we can strengthen Botswana's competitiveness and attractiveness for government and the private sector collaboration. Bilateral relations with neighboring countries have been elevated from mostly joint permanent commissions to the level of binational commission.
Your role is not limited to traditional diplomatic exchanges, but very much and most importantly, extend to economic diplomacy, trade and investment promotion, cultural exchange, and collaboration in various other sectors. Your diplomatic engagements are critical in building bridges, fostering partnerships, and creating linkages between Botswana and the rest of the world.
There has been an outpouring of goodwill which recognizes Botswana's visionary leadership and the deep commitment of the country to realize internationally agreed development goals. International organizations, development partners, our neighboring states, the wider African continent, the global south, the globe, also recognize Botswana's resolve to engage on the global stage. This is critical, especially during these challenging times, and I use that word again advisedly, of heightened geopolitical tension, and multilateralism is the most trusted approach to address these challenges. In this space, the voices of all countries, whatever their size or power, are heard and must be equally valid. This is why our voice is heard through the voice of His Excellency.
While we have recorded noteworthy progress in some areas, a lot still needs to be done in order to yield tangible results that will improve our ministry and the livelihoods of Botswana. We still have a number of pending administrative strategic issues which can further guide the direction of our ministry. I implore you to redouble your efforts to speedily finalize all the pending issues.
I'm aware that in executing your mandate, or our mandate, at your respective outposts, there are considerable challenges to the work that you do. However, I must hasten to emphasize that the public service is expected to efficiently use the resources at its disposal. It is therefore very important that our representatives also become innovative.
The project tse le di bonang mo Botswana bontsi tse di diragalang di tla ka bona ka gore ba le kuwa le moga ba nyita kana ba kopana le bagwebi ba batona jaaka re bone re na le bagwebi ba leng gore gompieko ba ne ba ntse ba ta mo Botswana ga ta utona tsamaya ka tsamaya ya bo ile ga go ne le taletso e tla ka bone gape di ofisi tsa bone gape go botlhokwa gore ba tlhaloganya le gore rona re le ha tshera ga kae ka gore gompieko ana re le ha tshera Botswana ba tlhabologa ka re iteko go di ke tsa ke re mo le mo wa le mo ga ile wa bona mme ga re ba nne ba ta mo gae ba ta go re meme le Batswana gore ba utlwe gore bone Batswana ba re ba eletsa eng tota gore re ha ba tswa ba ya go gore ba palla e ba itse gore nne Batswana bone ba ka ntse jang ba re.
Welcome back to Botswana Connects. This, of course, is BTV News. Over 400 high pedigree livestock comprising of sheep, goats, and cattle up for sale at the 4th edition of Lobu Small Stock Farm Auction Sale this morning. The farm manager at Lobu says all animals lined up for the auction have passed the fertility test level, all scoring about 50%. Tests on mobility of the sperm were carried out to ascertain breeding capability. President MOKGWEETSI officially opened that auction sale. Now, we cross over to Lobu to get the latest update with BTV News journalist Neo Mudunga. Neo, good morning. Update, please.